is Unfiltered with Ricky Bo and Bill Colarulo.
97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
All right, it's 3 o'clock here on Unfiltered. Big question of the day today. Who you feeling better about right now, the Phillies or the Eagles? Send your texts and your voice memos in to the Davis Honda text line. 610-632-0975. We got We Hear You coming up. Part 1 at 3:45. We do it again at 5:25. Remember, we got an epic A.J. Brown song from one of our listeners that might be the banger of the summertime.
It is legit.
It's pretty good. So we'll do that for you during We Hear You as well. But joining us now to talk some Phillies from NBC Sports Philadelphia, the one and only Jim Salisbury. Jim, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
We're doing all right, man. But, like, you're getting all this heat now for spanking your tomatoes because of Ricky Bottalico.
I'm getting heat for that.
Yeah, because of Ricky Bo. What do you got to throw that out there for? Kruk thought he was going to get fired talking about spanking tomatoes.
By the way, I was the one who said it. Like Jim said, here's what happened. Before we were in commercial break, I have an IFB, and I'm talking to John and Tom. I could hear what they're saying. It's not on air. And they were like, wonder what Jim did today. So during the break, I asked Jim what he did, and that's what he did.
Right. I said I worked in my garden, and I spanked my tomatoes, which is a gardening technique that when you get all those little flowers on the tomatoes, if you kind of jostle the plant, hit it with a stick, all the pollen goes to different flowers, and you get more pollination, more tomatoes in the end, and the technique is called spanking tomatoes. It's something they've been doing for a while, so it's something that I do, and I told Ricky, and he had some fun with it.
Yeah, he did. I didn't realize you had the green thumb, Jim.
Oh, he does.
Oh, yeah. It's one of my favorite things to do. I have a big vegetable garden, very big, yep.
So a true Renaissance man, because you're also an expert on baseball as well. So let's talk about the fight in Phils. Adolis Garcia last night, we see he grabs under his arm. Mattingly said he's going to get some testing done today. Any updates, and how concerned are you?
Well, I don't have any official updates, but, the way he grabbed his shoulder, I don't know if it was his shoulder, his lat, or his tricep, but it was that area. It looked acute, and it looked like a pop, the way he grabbed it, and those things typically land a player on the injured list. So that's kind of my expectation.
All right, Jim, let's look at this lineup right now, and I want you to talk a little bit about one guy, and Alec Boehm. He has turned his season around. He's hitting some home runs right now, and he's driving in runs. What have you seen? Why has he changed?
Yeah, he actually, he had that horrible first 5 weeks, but from May 1 until now, he has an OPS in the mid-800s. He's hit like 7 home runs in his last 35 games. I just see a guy who was just in this spiral that was, like a vortex of failure that he just couldn't pull himself out of, almost like the team at the beginning, except his lasted a lot longer. We know he's had some off-field personal issues. I personally don't see how that could not affect him in some way, affect his focus. And, Ricky, to hit this pitching and to play at the major league level, you got to be 100% focused every minute of the game. And I just feel like that might have weighed on him a little bit, but he was way too good a hitter to see what we saw the first 5 weeks. He's really getting together. I'm seeing a more confident hitter. He worked on turning on balls that he should turn on in spring training, middle in stuff, mistake type stuff, balls that even a guy like him who likes to use the whole field, likes to shoot it to right center, you get a mistake middle in, big guy like that, even with a line drive approach, can still turn on it. And that's what I've seen a little bit more lately, just a little more pull, doing a better job on fastballs as well, really struggled with the fastball early. And I think that was a focus thing as well. So I just see a guy becoming more like himself, and at the right time, because Schwarber and Harper were just carrying the team. Marsh, those 3 guys, we all know about the dearth of production they were getting from the right side. They're getting more of it, Even Stott from the left side has picked it up a little bit more. So now you're going like 5 deep in that lineup. If you can get Trey going, Garcia was going a little bit, starting to show some signs, but Trey's the guy they got to get going. They really got to get going so that lineup now can go 6 deep. And then I think they'll really benefit from that. But they've really played pretty good, but very good ball since the managerial change. Best record in baseball, and since that point, and all the 3rd best ERA in the majors since that point. And that's not coincidental. The record feeds off the pitching and the pitching turnaround, and I think that's what we have seen. And lately, scoring some more runs. So starting to look a little bit more like a complete team, even though they still have holes.
Talking to Jim Salisbury of NBC Sports Philadelphia. Jim, Adolis hopefully will get the announcement today, but we're all assuming there's going to be some sort of IL stint here. What's the solution if he misses extended period of time in that outfield?
I expected them and to look for a right-handed bat at the deadline. In fact, I'm sure that search had already begun. We'll see if this injury expedites that search and a potential transaction. In the short term, I would imagine they'll add somebody from AAA. The cast of characters is not, off the charts. They could bring back a guy like Felix Reyes, who was here and got a look, but didn't get a lot of playing time. And it's hard to maintain a swing when you get a lot of playing time. Maybe if they brought him, they would use him a little bit more because he goes to AAA and he hits, man. He hits down there. They got a guy named Brian Dela Cruz down there who possibly could get a look. Has been in the big leagues before. He lately has been hitting at AAA. The kid Rincones is a good-looking left-handed stick with some pop. The problem is he hasn't played a lot. He's only played 20 minor league games. He had two bad knees, patella tendonitis in spring training. He was very slow getting started, and he's kind of just getting back on the field the last few weeks. Played the last couple weeks at AAA. Would that be enough for them to bring him? I just don't know. So I'm kind of waiting to keep an eye on things.
All right, well, I have another solution, and I stole it from you from a couple weeks ago on your Phillies podcast with Ruben and Todd. It's moving Bryce Harper back to right field and then finding that right-handed bat at first base, and his name's Christian Walker. What do you think about moving Harper back to the outfield?
I am always thinking of that. I'm always thinking of moving Trey Turner to the outfield as well. If either one of those places would lend itself to acquiring a productive right-handed hitter. I think those are the type of creative things you got to kind of think about. And I did mention Christian Walker, very good defensive first baseman, having a great year for Houston, has had good years in the past in Arizona, hits for power, plays good defense. Harper has said in the past that he would move for the right power bat. I believe that was for Pete Alonso. They share an agent. He doesn't share an agent with Christian Walker. I do not believe he's a Boris guy, but would he do it for that? Possibly. But I think we're a ways away from that type of a transaction because we got to find out if the Astros are in or out. And, they're still close enough where they could be in it and keep their team together. Jeremy Pena, their shortstop, if he's available, I would have eyeballs on him if they decide to make him available. But I think Houston is still in that wait and see mode, hoping that they hang on to their players. But there's no question the Phillies, even before Garcia, I believed they needed more help from the right side, and I believe they're currently looking for that. And I believe they'll get it. We'll see the quality that they get. A guy like Randall Grichuk came in here last week and hit a couple bombs. Might be a nice complimentary fit. The problem is the White Sox just moved into first place. I don't know if they're going to subtract him. So we got a long way to go before the trade deadline, but I do expect the Phillies have to be active because they have holes. They have to fill those holes. This is a huge year. when you look at their core, they're aging, but they still got enough tread on their tire to make another October run if they can get there and fix a lot of the problems they've had in previous Octobers. So they know it's win now, and I expect them to be active.
Jim, their starting rotation. Look, the top two, phenomenal. The third is great on the road. 4 and 5, big question marks. Do you think they'll be looking for any kind of starting, whether it be depth or a major starter?
I think they're definitely looking for depth. They don't have much at AAA. The problem is everybody's looking for that type of depth and that type of pitching. One thing that's going to complicate this trade deadline is they don't have a lot to give up. It is not a strong farm system. They haven't pushed a lot of guys in recent drafts toward the majors. I know they got Crawford and Painter here this year, and that's good, but there's not a lot else that's knocking on the door. And it's a very thin farm system. There are some pieces that teams like, some players that teams like, but those are, you're going to have to tap into that to fill your holes, and now you're going to become even weaker. So everybody talks about Skubal. They don't have enough to get a guy like Skubal. There's too many teams that have a chance to win with deeper farm systems that will make play for him. But I do think right-handed bat, I think left-handed reliever, I think depth starting. All areas that they could look to address at the deadline, with the right-handed bat, to me, being the priority. Who knows if that changes over the next 6 weeks? Who knows if it changes tomorrow when we get the news on Garcia? It might. So there's a ways to go, but the trading deadline will be complicated by the fact they do not have a powerful or a deep farm system.
Jim, we appreciate the time, man. Let's hope that Garcia is not that serious, but yeah, we're bracing for the worst, unfortunately.
Yeah, you're worried about it because he's an explosive thrower, and it looked like a pop, and that's not a good combination.
No, it's not. All right, well, get back to your tomatoes, man. Today's a perfect day to get in the garden.
Well, if I don't get my deer mesh up, I'm not going to have anything, so I'm going to try to get that up.
Attaboy.
All right, have fun. There he is. Jim Salisbury, great stuff as always from NBC Sports Philadelphia.
Big-time garden guy.
Yeah, I didn't know that about Jim.
Huge.
You have a green thumb?
It depends what I stick my thumb in.
Whoa, cut that.
Well, I didn't.
I'm scared.
I don't know where you're sticking your thumb.
I mean, a tub of green Jell-O, yeah, my thumb would be great. Basically, I'm trying to say no.
There's one type of plant I can keep alive. It's the snake plant because it's very easy to keep it alive.
No idea what that even is.
I don't know what that is.
So I've had a snake plant now for, I could probably say about 6 years. I've had this beautiful snake plant. You know what they are. Look it up, a snake plant. But they don't require a lot of water. They don't require a lot of sunlight. They're supposed to be very good for cleansing the air. I've had the same snake plant now for 6 years. They're not cheap when they get, if you try to buy them big, but I bought this one rather small and it's huge.
The leafy things.
Yeah, they grow straight up. They call them. That's why they call them the snake plant.
Yeah, but I don't understand. It doesn't take any care. It's kind of like getting a cactus and say, "Yeah, I got it."
Correct. That's why I can keep. That's why I can keep the snake plant alive. So, yeah, I'm not a green thumb at all. All right, so Jim doesn't necessarily make me feel better about the Phillies because we threw out the question. Right now, June 11th, do you feel better about the Eagles, who just finished mandatory minicamp, or the Phillies, who are on a rest day and they're 28-12 under Mattingly? I feel better about the Eagles because of the unknowns, because of the excitement around this new offense with Sean Mannion. With the Phillies, not only is Trey Turner having the worst start of his career, JT Realmuto looks lost at the plate, doesn't look like the same guy as he was a few years ago at all. Now you're going to lose Garcia. Like, there are so many issues with this Phillies team that even though they're winning games behind that starting pitching, especially the top two guys, there's a lot of holes on this team still.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's definitely some holes, but I mean, what do you need filled? That's the thing. You have to also have some kind of belief that Dave Dombrowski can make some moves. Jim kind of dampened me a little bit in the sense that what guys in the minor leagues, if you don't have players to bring up to the major leagues, what players are other teams going to want?
You don't have a lot to trade, man.
That kind of depressed me a little bit.
You don't have a lot to trade. I mean, Adam Miller might be your best piece, and who knows with him now.
Adam Miller, who knows if he's even going to play this year? I mean, there is a big question mark whether he's going to play. And I was right last week. I told you I heard that he was done for a while. And everybody's like, no, he's ramping up the play. He's ramping up the play. And I found out, I used connections, found out that he was being shut down for a little bit.
And then he had the procedure.
Yeah. This is not good news. You're talking about a guy in his early 20s that already has back issues.
Yeah, it's not good. Not good. I have back issues now, but I'm 43. Thankfully, not at 21.
But where does the forceability come? Does that mean that the Phillies next year are going to have to sign Alec Boehm to a long-term contract? You have to keep something open, don't you? I mean, all right, if the choice...
What's your better option?
Well, I guess go to free agency and get a guy for a year, like you're trying to do in left field.
But the other alternative, too, is like Jim just mentioned, you move Trey back to the outfield.
The other question, well, something has to happen.
Well, no, I'm saying because even if you brought back Boehm, if Adam Miller's ready, you could play short.
Watch this question. What is Justin Crawford?
It's too early to tell. Early to tell. I mean, he's a rookie. He's a young guy. He's going through the growing pains of getting to the big leagues. But is he making
any adjustments? Not recently, he's not.
I'd like to see him bump more.
That's about it.
Yeah.
But
he got on base the other day on a bunt.
Okay, but I want you to think about how silly you sound right now. This guy was a Phillies #1 pick. And what are you pushing for?
Yeah, lay down the bunt.
What the hell?
Use the speed. Get on the base paths.
Does this make any sense to you whatsoever right now?
Well, look, he's a young. You know how hard it is to go from AAA to the bigs.
I know, but I understand that. But is he going to get much bigger? Is he going to get much stronger? Is he going to be a home run hitter? The game changed. Like the way he plays is good on certain teams. Maybe on this team, but you have Trey Turner, who is basically the same type of guy, except for he's a right-handed hitter.
And he's having a terrible season, too. Yeah. I don't know what the answer is, but you might be right. You might have to bring Alec Boehm back next year if you don't know what you have in Adam Miller. And if he is ready to get called up, then maybe you consider moving Trey back to the outfield, as Jim mentioned, and then Adam Miller can play shortstop. I don't know, man. There's a lot of questions with this team. That's why, as we sit here today, even with all the unknowns with the Eagles, I feel better about the Eagles right now than I do the Philadelphia Phillies, even though they're sitting in a playoff spot. Well, you can weigh in on that conversation. Who do you feel better about? Phillies or Eagles? Send your voice memos, send your text, 610-632-0975. As we're talking about the Eagles a little bit, got to talk about this Jalen Carter situation, because some people, including John Kincaid on these airwaves, are trying to create panic about the Jalen Carter situation. And I completely disagree. We'll get to that coming up next. Unfiltered, 97.5 The Fanatic, NBC Sports, Philadelphia.
Unfiltered. Ricky Bo, Bill Colarulo.
Philadelphia Sports Talk. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Unfiltered. Ricky Bo, Bill Colarulo.
97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
All right, welcome back into Unfiltered. Asking the question today, who do you feel better about right now, the Phillies or the Eagles? You can weigh in on it. And as we're talking about the Eagles, I tried my best yesterday, Ricky. I really tried my best yesterday to make sure people understood that on June 10th, there is no reason to panic about the Jalen Carter contract situation. And lo and behold, John Kincaid this morning did exactly what I thought he would.
Price is wrong.
Went on this morning. Bill's 100% wrong. We need to be concerned. If they don't get a contract in place in 6 weeks, literally, he said 6 weeks 4 times, in 6 weeks by training camp, Jalen Carter might hold in. He might show up and not participate. He might this, he might that, he might this. Guess what? I could die walking out of here.
I got a question.
That could happen too in the next 6 weeks. But I don't want people to panic, Ricky Bo. There is still 6 weeks to go. Yes, they are in negotiations with Jalen Carter. I was told by the Philadelphia Eagles they fully expect to get the contract done. And under the current NFLPA agreement, the bargaining agreement they have with the NFL and the NFLPA, you can't hold out. We saw what happened to Hassan Reddick. You could go back to what happened with Le'Veon Bell. Jalen Carter's under contract for 2 more years. He's got this year. He's got next year under the 5th-year option. Yes, would you like them to get this deal done sooner rather than later? Of course you would. But on June 10th and now June 11th, to be trying to get all-out panic about this situation is absurd. And I will stand by that. There is no reason to panic yet.
I think I'm going to stand arm in arm with you here. Sorry, John Kincaid. And I'll take my glasses off. My biggest thing here is if you are doing a contract negotiation, is he really holding out? But wait. Is he holding out of practice? Is he holding out of practice? The answer is no. Has he been there for individual drills? What's the answer?
Yeah.
So he's there.
He just didn't participate in team drills.
Okay. So what's the problem? What is the problem?
Well, the problem is in 6 weeks when they have training camp, what if this continues?
That is a bunch of malarkey.
Well, that's what's being...
I was going for a bad word there. Booney would have been mad at me. Everybody would have been bleeping things out.
I would have been mad at you.
And the one thing that I got to say here is, if I am going through a contract negotiation and I was with the Phillies, what's the one thing I don't want to happen while it's going on?
You don't want to get hurt.
You get hurt, and guess what happens? That goes bye-bye. So go out there, do the job that you need to get done to get you into shape to be in football season when camp starts, or in football. What am I looking for?
Training camp.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, football
be ready.
Shape.
Football shape.
There you go.
I couldn't think of the word shape. What is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Anyways, when I look at this, I think he's doing the right thing. Yes, John. Yes, John. I believe he's doing the right thing. If he wants to get his money, he wants to stay healthy. You know what? Anything could happen, especially this early in mini camps. You step on somebody's foot. You know what could happen? Boom. Ankle, leg, anything could happen in that type of situation. You go one-on-ones, there's a lot less things that could happen. Why? Because there's not a million people around you at the time. How many injuries in football do you see happen because of somebody else gets pushed into you? Or something happens when it's not a one-on-one situation. You know as well as I do, it happens all the time. Jalen Carter is doing the right thing right now. He is there for the individual drills to get him toned up or tuned up for training camp. That is it. I do not blame him for not doing the 11-on-11s or 7-on-7s.
Now, listen, Jalen Carter is represented by Drew Rosenhaus. We know Drew Rosenhaus well. He is an agent that would instruct his players his players, I guess that you would call his clients. That's the word I'm looking for.
They are players.
Yeah, his clients to not do certain things if that's what it took. We all remember T.O. on the driveway doing sit-ups. But this situation is a little bit different. Now, have the negotiations gone completely smoothly? Well, no. That the contract would have already been agreed to if that was the case. But this is the nature of the NFL. Every single player understands that the NFL is a business. They understand that these contract negotiations take time. And I don't believe that on June 11th that there should be an all-out panic created by sports talk radio that the fans will drink up and now start freaking out for 6 weeks until training camp, worried on the edge of their seat if it's going to turn into this catastrophe with Jalen Carter. It's not. Everything should be okay. And if it's not, the Eagles are in the position of power here. Jalen Carter is not in a position of power. He cannot hold out. He would be fined unmercifully. He still has 2 years left on his deal. So the worst case scenario that I see, if they don't get a deal done, is you get a motivated Jalen Carter next year because he knows he can't come in and have a bad season. Because now, when he is entering the final year of his deal, his value drops even more. So one of two things happens here with the Carter negotiations. Either they get a deal done before camp, and you get it hopefully before the market explodes next year or the year after, and you sign him sooner rather than later, or you don't sign him. And guess what, Jalen Carter? You got to play. He's going to have to play, and he's going to have a monster season because it's not as if he struggles, oh, well, now we're going to pay him all that money next year when you still have him on the 5th-year option of his rookie deal. I'm just saying there's no reason to panic. Is it a talking point? Of course. Should we be talking about whether or not the Eagles should sign him now or should they wait? How much should they give him? All of that is fair. My point yesterday is that it's only June 10th. So to try to create panic which some are doing out there, and a specific station that we all know loves to create controversy is already doing, because the A.J. Brown conversation's over. Let's create another one. That is where I draw the line. You should not be panicked right now.
There's a sportscaster that I trust, and you could tell me yes or no if you do or don't. John Clark.
Yeah, Johnny Sunshine?
Okay, listen. This was John Clark tweet on June 10th. Jalen Carter is doing everything at Eagles mandatory minicamp. Individual drills, one-on-ones, just not the team drills where he could possibly get hurt.
Yeah, and that is because they have not yet agreed to a contract.
They haven't agreed to it. Let me put it this way. If they were in there and he had a contract and he signed it, like, let's say the morning of the minicamp, guess what? He'd be doing everything. He would be doing everything.
Well, he was also battling back from the shoulders as well.
Well, they're not holding him back, though. If he's doing one-on-ones, he's not really worried about his shoulder.
Well, Nick Sirianni was asked about Jalen Carter yesterday before practice, and this is what kind of caused a lot of this conversation. Here was Sirianni when he was asked if Jalen Carter would be participating.
I don't have to get into, I'm not going to get into all those different things. Right now, I've been able to work some individual scenarios, and individual practices, and that's where everybody's in a little bit different boat right now of, where they are in the off season, and that's where Jalen is right now.
So, wouldn't get into it. So now when you don't get into it, people start to jump to conclusions. Now, I will tell you, yes, they are in negotiations. Yes, they have not agreed to a number. Jalen Carter thinks he's worth more through his agent than the Eagles wanted to pay. This is all part of the business of the NFL. It's all part of the negotiation. If this is still ongoing, if we get to training camp and Jalen Carter is not participating in team drills at training camp, yes, now I believe it's something we should talk about. My point is just June 11th, why are we panicking when Howie Roseman and the Philadelphia Eagles rarely, if ever, have issues getting contracts done? Yeah. Hassan Reddick was the last time we had an issue with contracts. Before that, I don't remember the last time we had to worry about players not participating, holding out, not getting things done. And in this instance, like I keep saying, Carter's under contract for 2 more years, and he doesn't have power in this negotiation.
No, there is no power. And to be completely honest with you, these things, they don't take one day. It's not like you go up to Jalen Carter and say, here, Jalen, I got a piece of paper for you. Here you go. Just sign that. You're good. No. They go back and forth. And when you're going through it, the last thing you want to do is show something that's going to show weakness. Would being injured show weakness? Absolutely it would. And let's face it, if you're Howie Roseman, you're talking to Jalen Carter, he gets hurt on the field. And it's an injury that, type injury. Is he getting the extension? No, it's not going to happen.
No, so it's a business for both sides on this. But I am curious, as we're talking about this, though, like what I do think is a fair question, not a panic, but a fair question. If you were the Eagles, would you try to sign him now? Like, would you want to sign him now? Or would you say, hey, we want you to come back this year and show us that you are the guy that we're hoping that you are? Do you want to motivate a Jalen Carter, or do you try to get the deal done now? I'm of the belief you get the deal done now simply because we've seen how the salary cap goes up every single year and player salaries go up every single year. Lock it down now. If you have intentions on extending him, which clearly they want to do, you try to do that now so that you don't have to pay him top dollar year from now, 2 years from now, as the salary cap rises and the salaries rise. I would sign him now. Is there a scenario where you would say, no, let's hold off?
Yeah, an injury.
Other than that, you're trying to get him done.
I would get him done. Why wouldn't you? He could be a beast.
Yeah, it would just be.
Or there is that other train of thought that, hey, you know what? I think there's more to it. Let's see if he can't put up another big season.
Well, because what you don't want to see happen is
complacency set in.
Yeah, he gets his big payday, and now he's not putting in the work, and he's not coming to do all the extra things that need to be done off the field, which is, if you remember, Fangio talked about that last year a little bit with Jalen Carter. Didn't come in the best of shape, needs to do the things off the field to take his game to the next level. Do you want to motivate him that way? But it sounds like, from everything I'm told, the Eagles want to get him under contract. They got Jordan Davis done. They want to get Jalen Carter done. And I do expect it to happen. Now, Silvana's telling me on the Davis Honda text line, people are saying I'm always drinking the green Kool-Aid and saying everything is fine with the Eagles. But my question to you is, tell me the last time that Howie Roseman wasn't able to win the negotiation, where he got into this heated debate or heated negotiation with a client,
probably
with a player.
Hassan Reddick.
Reddick. And guess what? The Eagles won.
Yeah, the Eagles won that one because he has not been the same since.
No, and they traded him, and they got a third-round pick out of the deal, and then he went to New York, and guess what happened? He held out in New York, so the Eagles were able to win that negotiation. That's why it has nothing to do with the Eagles. It has to do with the person who's calling the shots is Howie Roseman, who I trust more than any other general manager in this city, more than Dave Dombrowski, more than even Danny Briere, who might be rising up the ranks here. But they will get this thing done.
I mean, how could you not trust Howie? Everything he does, it's correct. I mean, obviously every GM is going to make a bad move here or there. But, I mean, when you talk about locking players down, I think he's been excellent in the way he's done it. I mean, you think about this one coming up, you have Jalen Carter. Next year, then you got a bunch of guys. You think about Jalen Hurts. You're going to be thinking about Coop. You're going to be thinking about Quinyon Mitchell. It's a lot.
Nolan Smith
coming up. Yeah, a lot coming up next year.
Yep, Nolan Smith was drafted the same year as Jalen Carter.
That's one of those things where he talks about making the switch, right? Offense to defense, defense to offense, and it's a constant battle for who's going to be getting paid. So Howie's done a great job. How could you sit back and say he hasn't? I mean,
that's why I get frustrated when I say positive things about the Eagles. It's you're drinking the Kool-Aid or you're wearing green colored glasses. Like, what has this organization not proven to you over the last decade that would lead you to believe that they don't know what they're doing? Like, this organization knows what they're doing. Like, the days of the Angelo Cataldi's where you come on the air and you rip a franchise that doesn't deserve to be ripped is over. I'm not going to come on here and give you fake outrage like, the Eagles are dumb, and then try to get the phones to ring. Because guess what? They're not dumb. They know what they're doing. And we've seen it time and time and time again that this franchise knows what they're doing. So I'm going to trust them until they give me reasons not to.
Are there some type of spoils here in the sense that, you know what, the Eagles are good every year. Even in their bad year where everything went wrong, they still made the playoffs. And I think the spoils comes where you go to 2 Super Bowls, you win one of the Super Bowls, and you think that every year you're going to be back to the Super Bowl. It's not that simple. It's never that simple. Think about it. What teams have really done it? The Patriots, and then who? You know what I mean? It's just not that easy. A dynasty is really, really hard in football.
All right, sorry, and we just got a trade announcement for your Philadelphia Phillies. Hold on, I don't know if this is breaking news or not. So, according to Jeff Passan of ESPN, the Philadelphia Phillies are acquiring center fielder Derek Hill and international bonus money from the Chicago White Sox for outfield prospect Dylan Campbell and infield prospect Jose Colmenares, sources tell ESPN. So far this season, Derek Hill, center fielder, has played 50 games with the Chicago White Sox. Wow, check this out. He's slashing .213, .284, and .375.
Oh, my God, he fits in perfect.
He's got 8 home runs. He is a right-handed bat, though, so they just got some depth for the outfield. I would think this signals Adolis Garcia is probably going on the IL, and they needed something. But here's what we got coming up.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Forget. We'll talk more.
All right, here's what we got. We'll react to that. Here's what we got coming up. We Hear You Part 1. I told you a listener, J.D. Lyrical, wrote a song about A.J. Brown. You are not going to want to miss this. It's going to be the new banger of the summer. I can guarantee it. So keep it here. Unfiltered continues. 97.5 The Fanatic, NBC Sports, Philadelphia.
Unfiltered. Ricky Bo, Bill Colarulo.
Philadelphia Sports Talk. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Now back to Unfiltered with Ricky Bo and Bill Colarulo on 97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
All right, welcome back into Unfiltered. We got We Hear You coming up. And we got a brand new A.J. Brown song, custom song sent to us by one of our listeners, J.D. Lyrical. It is pretty fire. Might be my new favorite song of the summer. We're going to get to that as well. You're not going to want to miss it. But before we do all of that, the question we threw out to start the show, as you're sitting here today, are you feeling better about the Fightin' Phils, who are 28-12 under Don Mattingly? Or are you feeling better about the Philadelphia Eagles, who just finished mandatory minicamp and I thought handled all the press conferences like true pros, especially Jalen Hurts yesterday in the way he answered questions about AJ, his contract, the offense, and maybe just as important, the way all these players have talked about their new offensive coordinator, Sean Mannion. I'm feeling better about the Eagles than I am about the Phillies because we've seen both stories before. You've seen the Eagles with a good coordinator on both sides of the football, and it won you a Super Bowl. You've seen the Philadelphia Phillies with a lineup like this that has gone cold in October. So if I had to pick a team that I believe in more, I believe in the Philadelphia Eagles more.
See, you can't get by like what happened in seasons past. I know it's a story point, like it's a telling point where the Phillies can't hit in the playoffs. They have hit in the playoffs before. Just the last couple of years have been pretty sad.
What have you done for me lately?
It's not even that. It's like
somebody has to do this for me. I want to know why the hell hitters swing so poorly now. Like they don't.
Yeah, but.
And it's bothering me because all the Phillies do it now, too. It's almost like a guessing game out there. If they guess fastball, they're getting a break ball. If they guess break ball, they're getting a fastball.
You want to hear it. It's analytics. It's analytics. That's exactly what it is because they are
pissing
guessing.
Me off.
But it's not just what we've seen in years past that have me worried about the Phillies. It's also the fact that Trey Turner does not look like he's just in a slump. It looks like who he is. JT Realmuto is not in a slump. This is just who he is now at his age. Adolis Garcia is probably going to go on the IL for an extended period of time. We're waiting for an update. And then we just get trade news from ESPN, Jeff Passan, that the Phillies are acquiring center fielder Derek Hill from the White Sox. Hold on, for those who don't know who he is, you're not alone. The guy's been up and down for the last 6 years throughout his career. He's only hitting .213 this year in 90 plate appearances. That's going to be the answer, I guess, if Garcia goes out.
On the Phillies.
Yeah, I don't know how to take this. You brought that up. I didn't see it first. You brought it up to me, and I just shook my head. I don't understand. I don't get it. What is he going to play? Is he going to get sent down to AAA? Is this a depth thing? Is this something that you're telling us about Adolis Garcia is going to be out for a little period of time? What the hell is going on? This isn't a move. This isn't a move that's going to change the complexion of this team. And that, to me, is a big, big problem.
Yeah, Ricky's pretty good. All right, so far this season, he's played 45 games in the outfield, 22 of them in right field, 13 in center, 13 in left. So he's probably going to replace Adolis.
Okay, I get that. But what does that do for you? Does that deepen your lineup?
So does this mean you're coming over to my side? You feel better about the Eagles than the Phillies?
I'm starting to.
You're teetering?
No, I'm not even teetering anymore. You know what? I try to back up my sport. I try to back up the Phillies, and then they make a move like this. That's just not a popular move. You name one person that's going to call in today or text in today and say, what a great move by the Phillies. Oh, my goodness, that really kind of put them over the top. I don't know. I come out and say something as to why. Why is this guy becoming a Philadelphia Philly? Or is he becoming a Lehigh Valley Iron pick?
I guess it depends on when we get the update on Garcia. So Derek Hill, should we become the new fan club of Derek Hill instead?
Well, there's a reason they did it today.
Yeah, because Garcia's going on the IL. We'll get that update. We will get that update within the next 24 hours.
I'm literally checking my mail right now.
All right, let's update the Twitter poll before we get to We Hear Ya and the new summer song from our man J.D. Lyrical. Twitter poll still up?
It's still up.
Twitter poll always up, rising like the heat, thanks to Dr. Avidan Appel of Iron Mountain Men's Health. What we got?
Who do you feel better about right now, the Phillies or the Eagles? 54% are voting for the Eagles, 46% voting for the Phillies. Interested to see how this may change following that.
Yeah, I am interested. And make sure you get your voice memos in because we're about to do We Hear You Now, but we're going to do it again like we do every show at 5:25. So send your voice memos on who you feel better about, the Phillies or the Eagles, 610-632-0975. But let's get the best voice messages so far. A little thing we call We Hear Ya, brought to you by Rycor Heating and Cooling, delivering high-efficiency heating and cooling solutions across the greater Philadelphia area, New Jersey, and the Delaware Valley. Visit RycorHVAC.com or call 1-855-MY-RYCOR to schedule a free consultation. Rycor, we know how.
I was already down watching the Knicks make the greatest comeback in NBA Finals history as a Sixers fan and watching the Spurs choke. Then Bill had to play the audio of Daryl Morey with the Buddy Hield trade, dragging us further into the dumps. Now Carl Anthony Vitalico is going to spank the Knicks tomatoes all offseason. Are you going to go to a watch party in the Garden and wear a Gilligan Knicks hat with Spike Lee? Are you secretly a Swiftie now, Cab? And the team that you should be more optimistic about is the Eagles because of Howie Roseman. And Dombrowski, you don't have a good club. You're mid at best.
We have a good club.
Yeah, I'm right there with him every step of the way. You feel better about the Eagles because of Howie Roseman. And yes, Ricky Vitalico is a Nick-loving Swiftie sitting right here to my left.
I'd like to go sit with Taylor Swift at a game.
Especially a Knicks game, wouldn't you?
No, just a game.
Silvana's got a new nickname for you.
Nikki Bo. Hey.
I didn't come up with that. A texter sent that in yesterday. We'll give
whatever works. You know what?
Nikki Bo.
You guys.
Nikki Bo.
If it makes you happy to feel like you're conquering something over me, go ahead.
It does make me feel happy.
Watch this. My Knicks are going to win.
He's a Nicky Boker.
I couldn't even say that with a straight face, by the way.
No, you're not rooting for the Knicks. You want to see the Spurs come back.
In all honesty, I don't think this is over. I might be like in a small minority. I got a weird feeling they're going to blast the Knicks in San Antonio, come back, steal one in New York, and then it's going to be completely different.
Well, look, the odds right now are the Spurs are a plus 385. The Knicks are a minus 500. That's not like crazy odds.
I just don't know. I mean, when you think about it, have the Knicks really played a great game? They played a great second half. When was the last full game that they played?
Maybe before the series.
Yeah.
But game 5 in San Antonio, right now, the Spurs are 5.5-point favorites.
Not even surprised.
5.5-point
Not
favorites.
even surprised. Although, there is that one little thing in the back of my mind that says, well, the Spurs might have given it everything they had in game 4, and all of a sudden they might just show up and have nothing left in game 6.
Yeah, so we will see.
Game 5.
We will see. I'm looking forward to this right now as we hear you continuing. Our man JD Lyrical emails me last night, and he says he wrote this song and recorded it to give me the fan perspective on the A.J. Brown trade. So here's the email. He says, hey, Bill, big fan of the show. Now that A.J. Brown went down and we've watched him in Patriots heaven all over the news, I thought I'd try to write some lyrics and put a song together to sum up the fans' perspective on this trade. Dude, I love this song. Wait till you hear this. So here we go, making his on-air debut, JD Lyrical with the A.J. Brown song.
Yeah. Yeah, traded from the Titans and slightly went down on the phone with your bro, ready to get down. How we made the deal and paid you what you worth. Wide receiver one for the best team on earth. Eagles fans took you under their wing. Love you like a brother when you won that ring, but you asked for a trade while confetti still lingers. A Super Bowl ring weighing down your fingers. Who asked for a trade from a 4-0 team? Why leave it all after living the dream? How about them apples? You're with your childhood team, posing with jerseys like you're living the meme. The grass ain't greener, it's a different shade. Remember how you felt at that Super Bowl parade? That eagle green will never fade. You can't erase those memories that you made. So keep talking trash and throwing the shade while we're getting ready for the next parade. And when you watch the birds win and raise that Lombardi, we'll be rocking the Super Bowl party. While you're thinking what if and the heartstrings tug, crying your tears on your Patriots rug. The grass ain't greener, it's a different shade. Remember how you felt at that Super Bowl parade? That eagle green will never fade. You can't erase those memories that you made.
That is amazing.
That is a banger from our man JD Lyrical.
That is so
incredible.
good. That is ridiculous.
I loved that.
The grass ain't greener.
Put it on
That's
Spotify
awesome.
immediately.
All right, really good stuff. Check him out, JD Lyrical. Appreciate it.
I love that. The tears on the Patriots rug really got me.
Yeah, that was pretty good, wasn't it? The tears on the Patriots rug. All right, good stuff. Here's what we got coming up. A little Give Me More at 4 with Silvana.
I don't know
keep
how
it
I
here.
topped that.
I don't know. That's going to be tough. We got 2 hours to try to top that. I don't think we can.
I might as well shut it down.
Give Me More at 4 coming up next. Keep it here.
Unfiltered. Ricky Bo, Bill Colarulo.
Philadelphia Sports Talk. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.